with Jennifer Weinberg from the Southwest office, okay, with Berkshire Hathaway. Tell us a little about yourself, how long you've been doing real estate and all that good stuff, please.
Well, first of all, Rick, thank you for having me today.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. So just a little bit about me. I actually started my career March 2000, and I was personally hired by Mr. Mark Stark himself back when he did interviews. So I feel very blessed to have had that experience with him. I have come and gone a couple times from the company. One of the times that I specifically left was to go 15 years ago get my business broker's permit, being that it was a little bit different than what we offer here at the company back then, Prudential Americana. I left, and then to get the education years later came back, and I think I've left one or two other times, but I'm here to stay now. So.
Always come back, that's good.
Yes, and as Aldo always says, you can, like California, you can always check out, but you can never leave. So.
Like the song, Hotel California. I love it. You can and never check, yeah, right. I love that line. All right, so tell us a little bit, because you do things differently. You do a lot of businesses and so forth. So tell us a little about your business and how you do that, please.
Yes, so I'm a full commercial agent, and I also do business acquisition. I think I am the only business broker for the company here at Berkshire Hathaway. So that's good. I do actually have a team now of 7 agents that are becoming business brokers. So we hope to be able to help all the agents here at the company and have a nice presence, so if anyone needs anything, we're here. But I do sell all kinds of businesses, liquor, gaming, anything, restaurants, anything that has maybe a good set of books and records. Really, it is always key.
That's helpful.
Yeah, it is helpful. But I found out being a commercial agent and a business broker, they kind of go back and forth. We might have that client says, I really want a second-gen restaurant, and we'll pay up to $200,000 for an asset sale, and then when we can't find anything, they're switching over to commercial, going, hey, go find us that space so we can lease it. So I am a full commercial agent also for the company. I do industrial, leasing, and retail, office, land, anything that has to do. So we kind of encumber everything. But business brokerage is really fun to me. I sold homes just for about 7-8 years in the beginning of my career, and then kind of switched over to find something a little bit more challenging for myself, which I find in selling businesses. And crazy.
A little more challenging than the residential agents are thinking, wow, because, all real estate is challenging, but wonderfully challenging. So if I'm an agent here, and I have somebody that has a business or industrial or commercial, they can also refer that to you.
Absolutely, we do. I do a lot of industrial business and a lot of restaurants. I practice a lot in that space as well. So I'm pretty versed in all commercial transactions at this point in my career. And it's been 23, so going on next year will be 24 years.
All right, cool.
Off and on with the company. So.
That's great. Well, anybody that can survive that long and do well as you have in that business is obviously doing it well. So you did residential first, and then you went into your business brokerage and industrial and commercial and so forth. What are the major differences between the two? Like, I'm a real estate agent. I'm considering that. What are the major differences? Even though there's several, but
between residential, commercial, and business.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I think as residential, we all know it's. I don't want to say it's pretty easy. I'm definitely not discounting. It's very, we get into situations that are very trying for all of us as realtors. So definitely not saying that in any type of way. But when you get into my world, we definitely deal with attorneys a lot more, which ultimately can make our deals a little bit more challenging. Yes, and complex for sure. And we're dealing with, clients that, basically we're looking at numbers. It's not so much we're taking that emotional component out of it a little bit. So I thought, until you walk into someone's business that they, for 25 years, have put their blood, sweat, and tears into it, and tell them that their business is worth $100,000. They want you to show you the door. Right. So, it gets a little sensitive with sellers at that point, but I've learned to do business evaluations. So I feel very professional in that space, where most business brokers, there are probably only maybe 10 active business brokers in the whole Las Vegas Valley. The other 2 companies besides our company that have a presence in that market are First Choice and Sunbelt, which I actually got my training from prior to coming back to. So I'm thankful for that experience. But one of the things that set me apart is doing that business evaluation, taking 3 years and forecasting them or recasting them or doing a pro forma, being able to really dive into what that business is going to be worth on the open market. along with some of their commercial properties, you know, maybe rolling into a cap rate and making sure that we're getting the best that we can on the open market for them as well.
Yeah, that CMA residential is a little different than what you're talking about.
It is.
Yeah, so when you say, I would say that residential is a lot simpler, right? Even though it's, in a lot of ways, it's not easy, it's simple. It's like, you have a home, you have comparable sales, you have a value, you sell the property. Business is a lot of things that go into it.
Right, and that's what I was saying. I didn't want to discount. It's simpler paperwork-wise. Like for us,
right.
It's a little bit more challenging just because we're trying to work in a space of appraising businesses and appraising commercial assets, you know, which is just a little bit, when you're going out there and you can't find one comp, you better know what to do in that situation to come up with a number. You can't just go back to your client and go, well, couldn't find anything in a 5-mile radius, so I don't know.
You know what? I checked on Zillow. There's no Zestimate.
Really? Yeah, right. That's always accurate.
Right. There's no business estimate, right?
That's right. That's right.
Wouldn't that be funny?
It would.
It'd be interesting to see how they go with it.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it as far as the value. I mean, you know, that's why you said having good books is probably critically important. And a lot of people, when they own small businesses, probably have the best of that.
Exactly. And most business owners, believe it or not, have 2 sets of books and records. And, you know, as a business broker, you have to decide where you want to take the where that liability lies in those situations and whether to take that listing on or not. Because, you know, the first thing you want to do always is make sure you're staying in compliance and out of the real estate division or LVR site, because you don't want to do anything that will compromise, you know, your license. And that's why my specifically is significantly more. I think if I get into, God forbid, I think my is like $50,000 or something crazy, you know, if I got sued or something like that. So it's a lot of risk, but a lot of reward. Yeah. You know, my commissions are completely different. So. Right.
So some people may have a little different thing that they file with the IRS versus what they believe it's actually worth.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I can see that happening, especially if it's a cash business, right? Like restaurants and so forth.
Right. Exactly.
All right, so you've been doing this for 24 years. You started out 7-8 years as residential, which is awesome because it gives you a good idea of, you know, how we do that as well. So I'm an agent. I want to be successful, whether it's residential, commercial. Give me some of the top things that you would tell them to consider, like maybe your top 3 things.
My top 3 things is, you know, being in the business now, 23 years, going on 24, I realized how important the database that I've been building for that many years is so important, because a lot of my business still comes from that, you know, keeping up. I really believe in the Brian Buffini way, and I still write personal notes. But I will tell you one advantage I feel like if I can give, you know, any advice to an agent would be the biggest lack in our industry is communication. I hear it every day. You're the only agent that's called me back. So my advice in this market is to stand apart, because on the real estate side, you guys have so much competition. There's so many licensees. Communicate with your client. It's going to go a long way, especially as we keep going into a world where that doesn't exist anymore. And the other advice I can say is I used to, you know, back in my career as a single mom, you know, I was afraid to say no. If the client said, you know what, I'm available tonight at 7, I was afraid to say I can't make it. You know, drag my kids or make, you know, call and cancel this or cancel that. You know, respect your time. And I've learned that they're not going to say no. Nope, I'm not available tonight at 7, but I can be available tomorrow at noon.
Right.
And I found that my clients, I think, respected me more, and now I see that later in hindsight, that I'm not jumping just to accommodate them.
Right.
But I'm just as busy, and if they, you know, just be confident. You know that if they want you, you know, they'll wait for you to be available.
Right.
I'm not saying like in a week from now, just
Right.
That would be my advice, you know,
Right.
to any new agents is
Don't come across
value your time.
Yeah, because if you'll meet them anytime, anywhere, it does come across as maybe a little desperation.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Okay,
That
cool.
would be my advice.
Right, those are great. Anything, so, you know, I like the idea of keeping really, you said a couple things here. Not only having your clients and conversing with them, but also be organized about your database and your CRM.
That's right.
Especially with the tools we have here.
That's right.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons I stay here at Berkshire Hathaway. There really is no other company as far as what they can offer you, especially in a residential way. And I stay here for the commercial resources. You know, Troy has been very helpful in getting me started on some forms that I needed from back from the company. And everyone is always so supportive. And Unfortunately for Darren, he's involved in a lot more of my deals than ever, because just the way, you know, the things go with attorneys and things like that. But, you know, I appreciate the support that I get here at the company. The tools are really, there's no other company in Las Vegas, I think, that can compare to Berkshire Hathaway.
Awesome. Yeah, and she's talking about Darren, our corporate attorney, who is not only a great attorney, but also quite entertaining.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He makes the transaction fun when he has to get involved, and he usually handles it.
Smart guy, yeah.
Right, and with commercial, you're going to definitely need an attorney more, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so tell me this, in the commercial, industrial, even businesses, the Berkshire Hathaway name has to be helpful, I would imagine.
It is helpful. It helps me go up against, you know, other companies in town that are just business acquisition. So, and we're not. I admit, so I'm kind of like this lone rider in the company, you know, where I don't have a big presence like we do residentially. So it's not harder for me, but it gives me a little bit more edge to go in to get these listings against First Choice, Sunbelt, things like that, where that's all they do. Right. So Berkshire Hathaway really carries the name far for me.
Good, that's awesome. That's awesome, I love it. And we do have, you know, we have property managers, we have commercial, but the true, when we talk about business brokers, you're really you're right here at the company.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a lot of full commercial teams at all. I think there's just a handful of us throughout the company as well. So, yeah, but I have a great support system, and I just love the company here.
Aldo's got to be helpful.
I love Aldo.
We got to throw Aldo in there too, since we mentioned Troy and Darren.
Aldo's been my broker 15 years. I couldn't even imagine my life without him in it, honestly. He's my,
When you decided to come back, he called me and told me, just so you know.
Oh, he did.
He said, Jennifer's coming. I'm like, oh, that's so great.
Yeah, he had me on his little thing, you know, every 2 weeks I get a message, hey, I know how this is going to go. But, yeah, you know, I took a short stint. I went to, left the company for 6 months and came running back, and now I'm here to stay, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. We appreciate that. Yeah, I think sometimes, you know, and you've been doing this a while too, you know, you look at other things and you go, oh, that looks great. And then you get there and you're like, now I'm going to come back. And it's not the first time.
It's the last time, though.
Well, good. Yeah. Well, glad to hear that. Anything else that you can think of that you want to mention to these people today?
I would definitely recommend not trying to do this business yourself. I have agents that call me and they say, oh, I'm trying to do this business acquisition, can I borrow a form? Okay, well, if you want to go the real estate division, you know, maybe, but otherwise you should probably be referring that business out, because you can't represent your client to the best of your ability if you don't play in that arena, whether it's commercial or anything else.
Right.
Even just a simple lease on a retail property or an office space or industrial, don't try to do that business. Definitely don't try to do the business act, because the real estate division will not look kindly to you on your license when you need a permit to be able to do that.
Yeah, and the guy in the office over there would be very upset as well.
Yes, that is very true.
We got to mention Forrest too. We're dropping names today.
Yeah. So, you know, personally, I feel like I really appreciate, I work by referral only. All of my business comes from other agents, specifically, you know, even commercial agents, because they can't operate in that space either.
Right.
So, don't operate in that space. Call me. I always will give a referral fee, you know, and I'm reliable. I communicate. I call your clients back, and I look good, make you look good.
And you're very professional, and so yeah. So refer all your business into anything to do with what Jennifer just went through, and get paid a referral fee. Like if I got back in the business today, to me, getting a referral fee for that would be like found money, because it was something that I wouldn't be doing. Plus, I think in Nevada you have to have that certificate and license to even operate in that realm anyway.
You do. You have to permit just like a property manager.
Right.
You have a permit on your license. But my commissions are so high that the referring agent is getting anywhere, I would say, on average between $10,000 and $30,000 per
Right.
transaction.
That's
on a referral fee.
Right.
On a referral fee.
So in some cases, your referral fee is close to, or in some cases over, what your average commission is anyway for just referring a name. And I'm going to tell you something. If I was in if I had a super high-end listing, I would probably do the same thing to one of our super high-end agents, because it probably wouldn't be something that I operate in all the time, because you get paid a lot of money for just referring. You know, stay where you're, you know, like everybody has a zone they need to operate in. Stay in there, work that well, and like you said, get help with everything else.
Great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time today. This was great. I'm sure we got some nuggets out there, and all the agents now from the company know where to refer their businesses to.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Rick. I appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.